I'd like to call to order the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners Workshop Meeting for April 10, 2024. Roll call.
President Zipfel.
Here.
Vice President Rogers.
Here.
Commissioner Andrus.
Here.
Commissioner Lestracco.
Here.
Commissioner Partha.
Here. So we have a very special recognition this evening that I think the majority of the people who are in the room tonight are here for to support him. So I would like to ask Bill Miller, longtime resident and volunteer, who we will be talking about in just a few minutes, if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. Well, you got it. All right, just some housekeeping before we get to the fun stuff. Is there a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus, second by Vice President Rogers. Any questions or comments? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving ahead with the agenda before you say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Okay, citizens' comments. Any citizens' comments on agenda items? Oh, all right. So, consent items. Is there a motion to move the consent items in the record, in the agenda into the record?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Lestracco,
Second.
second by Vice President Rogers. Those consent items include the police report for the month of March, the VMSC ambulance report for the month of March, the HTMA meeting minutes of February 13, the HTMA budget report for the month of March, the Hatfield Volunteer Fire Quarterly Report for 2024 Q1, and the Calmer Volunteer Fire Monthly Report for the month of March. With that, I'll call the question. All in favor of moving those into the record, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, those are moved into the record. Okay, we have a very special recognition tonight. That is of Bill Miller, Parks and Recreation Board member and Shade Tree, I believe. And so, Bill, if you would join me over at the podium. So Bill might hate me for doing this, but I'm actually going to make him wait just a second. So why don't you come right here? Because in addition to honoring you, we also have another special recognition, and we are surprising somebody this evening. She's going to hate it. And I mean, she is going to hate every second of it. Our own, come on up, Ashley. Our own Ashley Brody is got a special recognition this evening because, and I have to, I've been doing this for a while now. I'm not sure we've ever had an award that is a statewide award. So this is a statewide recognition for from the Pennsylvania Recreation and Park Society for township pop-up events in 2023. And I learned this evening, I didn't know this. I mean, I've known you for a decade, right? But I didn't know that you love surprises. Apparently, no? Apparently not?
Fan.
You're a big fan?
Yeah.
Big fan? Well, then this is right up your alley. Because maybe you've already seen this, because this is what's been given as a statewide recognition. It is from the PRPS, Pennsylvania Recreation and Park Society. It is Excellence in Recreation and Parks, presented to Hatfield Township. Pop-up events in recognition of your efforts to promote recreation and parks as an essential community service. Recognition and Awards Committee, March 14th. This is our very small way of saying thank you. And to the Superintendent, Steve Ridner. Is Steve here? No? Okay. But Ashley, in particular, you do a fantastic job. You know that you do a fantastic job. I hope everyone else knows that she does a fantastic job. Speech! You didn't even plan it, and you have a fan club that's here already, and they are some of our best volunteers for sure. And so I might just go on for a few more minutes just to keep you up here, just to make you suffer, just for another extra minute or two. So, on behalf of the entire township, This is a fantastic award. We're so proud of you. We're so thankful. Congratulations, really.
Thank you very much.
As if you didn't have it already.
Thank you.
Now, I think we have to take photos. Everyone has to get photos in the well. All right, I'll tell you what, why don't you wait when we have Bill come up, then, okay. And I will let you go as you run back to your seat, I'm sure. I am fairly confident in that fact right there.
It was actually a award from the Galaxy.
Is that Golf Galaxy? Is that where that was from? What it was, because
Award's
we
an
know
award.
we know your strong golf game too, so we're familiar with that. So, all right, so we have a great crowd this evening, not only to recognize Ashley for that. She really, obviously, it was a great surprise, and we were thrilled to do it. But Bill, oh yeah. Bill is a recipient of a great thanks tonight. 30 years, not just on the Park Commission, but also Shade Tree. So we have, I've done a number of these over the years, and this is really unique. So I'm going to, instead of saying a few words, saying words first, I'm going to read the proclamation, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what some of your committee members, co-committee members said about you. So it's not my words, it's their words.
Now I'm worried.
And you should be maybe a little worried. No, but it's actually been, it was wonderful to see so many people write so many great things about you. So let me read the proclamation first. Whereas the Hatfield Township Board of Commissioners desire to recognize Bill Miller for his 30 years of service to Hatfield community. Boy, I got to tell you, there's not many people that can say that, so we really appreciate it. Whereas Bill Miller was appointed to the Park and Recreation Board in 1994 and has served in that capacity for several decades. And whereas Bill Miller still remains an active volunteer on the Shade Tree Commission and the Hatfield Museum and Historical Society, leaders of that are right here. Whereas Bill Miller was responsible for designing and constructing the car show trophies for Rocktoberfest, a very big part of Rocktoberfest. Whereas Bill Miller developed the idea of Millerfest, I wonder where you got that one from, which was a history-based event that included historical reenactments and demonstrations. And whereas Bill Miller played an instrumental part in providing major improvements to School Road Park, including the construction of the amphitheater, which is greatly used, and public restrooms, as well as using his woodworking skills to restore the toll booth currently displayed at the Hatfield Museum, which I've seen as extraordinary. So, now therefore be it proclaimed in accordance with the foregoing that the Board of Commissioners of Hatfield Township does endorse this proclamation as recognition of Bill Miller for his 30 years of commitment and dedication to Hatfield Township, proclaimed and presented this 10th day of April 2024 on behalf of Hatfield Township and everyone. Thank you very much. So before, and I don't know if you even want to say a few words, but before we do that, I thought that this was telling, and this is why I kept this separate. There really was, and these are the notes that we put together, but there really was an outpouring of feedback about you from your fellow park board members who are, I think, if I catch everyone tonight, if I don't, my apologies, Jeff Wirt, George Landis, Dan Brosh, Deb Rogers, Deb Zimmerman, and some of them, just some of them, said the following about you. So I'll make you nervous just for a second.
I'm really nervous because if anything from George.
Funny, Georgia seems to be the longest one and last, and so we'll save that one. We actually may have to save that one for after the ceremony. I'm not sure. So here's some quotes, specific quotes from fellow park board members. Bill's a big part of why we have so many amenities and events at School Road Park. It's a simple statement, right? But you know what? Think of all the different things that we have at School Road Park and all the amenities, and to be able to say that you've had such a great influence and in many ways initiated those is extraordinary, and it's going to last for just many, many years from this point forward. So it's a great accomplishment. Bill is our local historian. Boy, I got to tell you, those are a big statement with some of, yeah, I know Larry is too, but he is our local historian. I mean, that's a big statement and a wonderful thing. We've got a rich history here, and it's just wonderful to know that you've been able to share that. Bill was the guiding light in the development of the parks. We have a great park system. I think one of the best, if not the best. I know other townships are very jealous of it. Bill is a team player who is always ready and willing to offer assistance and take on any challenge you present him with. He is open-minded and has a heart for helping others. It's just an extraordinary statement. And last but not least, and no, I don't know if this is George's, but Bill is such a calming presence. He has a way of making you heard and letting you know your thoughts and ideas are appreciated and without even saying anything. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with him professionally and an even bigger honor to call him a friend. And so undoubtedly the words that you embody the Hatfield spirit are entirely correct. On behalf of the township, all of your park board members and 18,000 residents, and for many years more, all the things you do for the residents that haven't even moved here and come here yet, we have greatly appreciated and thank you very much.
Above his bedboard, Aaron, not the garage, not the garage.
I'll hold on to that one.
I've lived here my entire life, and it has been an honor and a privilege to live here. An honor and privilege to serve on the boards that I did. A greater honor and privilege by people who care, who work hard, and have been the best.
Ashley.
That's why we're all sweaty.
Bill, you're in the middle.
That's not yours, George.
Ashley, you're in the middle.
That's yours.
Ashley,
Bill and I actually had hair back then.
Tighten it up. Step away from the podium.
Yeah, that's good, that's good.
You might get another picture.
George, raise that phone a little closer. Relax, relax.
You're killing me, Aaron.
Nice stuff.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. I tell you, 7 in a row.
What have I been telling you?
What did I say? I said,
They're
no.
good. They're going to the playoffs.
Said, it's pretty crazy that they're going to the playoffs. Nobody expected that this year. what? There. They're pathetic. At this point, yeah. At this point.
So this meeting is not going to be anywhere near as exciting and interesting from this point forward. I just want everyone to know that if you're not a regular attendee. But we are thrilled if you stick around, because we're always happy if people stick around. I guess the nice thing is it's not too long either, so you won't have to suffer through too much. So we have a couple of committee reports. We're going to start with Planning and Zoning Committee. Vice President Rogers.
Thank you. Tonight, we're talking about an appointment of a special counsel for the 24th conditional use hearing.
Yeah, so there is a conditional use hearing coming up at our next meeting. For those who are familiar with that, it's a construction application that is put in by a developer. In that type of situation, in that hearing, we actually, the five of us will not sit for at least a few moments as commissioners. We actually sit in like what's called a quasi-judicial capacity for conditional use hearings. So we sit really almost like judges. So the rules are a little different and the process is a little different. And so unlike in a legislative capacity where we participate a little bit more so in the give and take in the conversations with residents, this is a little different than that. So we thought that given the scenario and given the significance of the project itself, it seemed prudent to hire a special counsel to ensure compliance with the zoning ordinances. So that counsel, what that counsel's role is to really to put forward and protect the interests of the code. Not the commissioners or the residents or the developer, but that special counsel protects the actual interests of the code and would then ask questions and present evidence and such consistent with that. It's an added layer of process that we think is important given the circumstances. So with that, I'll make a motion to appoint the special counsel in this matter it actually is to protect the Hatfield Township ordinances. The special counsel is Thomas Panzer. So I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Rogers. Is there any questions or comments? Hearing none, then, I will call the question. All in favor of the motion to appoint Thomas Panzer as special counsel for the April 24th conditional use hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Bob, ball's back in your court.
Second item is a maintenance period for 2618 North Broad Street land development.
Thank you, Commissioner Rogers. This project was on the last workshop agenda meeting, and basically they had a couple of outstanding things to take care of, which they have. In our correspondence from April 3rd, we're certifying that the project is complete, and what we'll need at the regular meeting is the board to vote on accepting the project as complete and the commencement of the 18-month maintenance period. This is just notification for now, and then vote next time.
Okay. All right, that makes it easy. Public Works Committee.
No committee report tonight, Mr. President.
Right. Parks and Recreation Committee, Commissioner Lestracco.
Okay, everyone's listening in the audience, so it better be good. I'm going to start with the events that are coming up. Earth Day, our annual event will be scheduled for Saturday, April 27th. There'll be 2 collection sites which will operate from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and that will be at the Public Works Complex, and Clean Earth will be there. We will also host several cleanup sites throughout Hatfield Township, so if you are interested in that, Ashley, who was just here, thank you, Ashley, and congratulations. Her email is abroudy@hatfield.org, so if you are interested in volunteering, please contact her. There's also more information on our township website and Facebook group. We will also be having Earth Day pop-up events, and so that will return this year. We're kicking things off, of course, on Earth Day, April 27th, and that will be 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at School Road Park. And there'll be games, inflatables, crafts. Elmwood Park Zoo will be there, and some vendors. The Comfort Food Kitchen food truck will also be there, so please come out. Also, in May, we'll have pop-up events. So May is National Physical Fitness and Sports Month, and our Parks and Rec team will be having some fun Fun Fields to bring you an event filled with movement and exercise and fun. So look for that as well. Saturday, May 18th, that will be crazy obstacle course, games, music, and snacks, and that will be from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. School Road Park again. And then please look for our summer concerts and movie events. That also is on Facebook, Facebook page and our township website. So that's really exciting. For our programs, our exercise programs will be Zumba, Sundays, 9 a.m., Hatfield Township Administration Building, that's here. That'll start May 5th to June 9th. That'll be a 6-week session, $60 per person. Our remix class will be Monday, 7 p.m. here at the Administration Building, May 6th through June 10th, and that's a 6-week session, $60 per person. Our yoga is Thursdays, 7 p.m., Hatfield Township Admin Building, May 9th through June 6th, and there's no class on May 23rd. And that's a 4-week session for $40 per person. And then if you want to check out our outdoor pickleball, that'll start again this spring, so please register. That will be also on our website for spring and summer programming. Thank you so much.
All right. Good report.
Yep, thank you.
And the crowd looks pleased. The crowd that is directly regarded that, so that's right. All right, Public Safety Committee, Commissioner Partha.
Thank you. Last evening, we appeared at the Bangla Bazaar for a festival to celebrate the end of Ramadan, and today is the Eid al-Fitr. On April 21st, we'll be hosting a Coffee with Cop event at the Hatfield Giant. Officer will be there from 10 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. On April 27, we'll be participating in the drug check bag from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. This event will be held right here at the Administration Building. On April 30, Lieutenant Jane Robertson will be returning from the police department. We will be holding an event for her later in the year following the upcoming retirement of Officer Fox. A huge thank you goes out to Jane for her many years of dedicated service. That's all.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Moving right along, we're going to go to Finance Committee, Commissioner Andrus.
Thank you very much. This is a relatively quiet period when it comes to finances for the township. The majority of real estate taxes have been paid now that the discount period has ended. We're still waiting to hear about our largest grant application for the police building project, which is for $5 million. So fingers crossed, hope that goes well. Representative Steve Malagaro will be here at our next meeting to present Hatfield Township for the check for a recent grant award received in the amount of $393,750 to help pay for the sidewalk road improvements for the new police station. We have roughly been awarded $750,000 worth of grants for the police station, which is really good. Fingers crossed and hope that some of that $5 million comes through for the grant that's still outstanding.
Great. All right, Township Manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have good news here tonight, in particular for one gentleman who is in the front row, second row, Mr. Newberry, who we have met over the years. Barry and his wife have had a very difficult experience in their home now for years when it rains and all of us are inconvenienced. He is facing catastrophic conditions. Boats rescued by a lot of our first emergency responders, and thankfully, because of some moves by the commissioners over the years, we were awarded a grant from FEMA to purchase the 4 homes that you see on the map, and we are ready to acquire the first of the 4 home. The best part of this is we've got to know Rick pretty well over the last 4 or 5 years now that we've been going through this process, and we saw the struggles that you guys had and storms that are coming up, and Rick and his wife looked everywhere around the area to find a new home, and they bought one in where, Rick? Hatfield Township, right? Which is the best part of it. So Rick and his wife and his family will be moving down the street to Maple Avenue to stay in Hatfield, leaving a ward, but still in the town, and we're happy to have you here. So this motion is to simply approve the agreement of sale that we have previously discussed in executive session, since it's real estate, primarily funded, actually 100% funded by the federal government, majority of it through FEMA. The difference would be through the ARPA funding that we received a few years ago through the stimulus funds. We're going to go to settlement in the next few weeks. We don't have a date set, but we're going to do it before he needs the funds for his next home on Maple Avenue. So this will be the first of 4. Ultimately, the home, as everyone knows, all 4 of these homes will be acquired and then demolished and then turned into green open space, whether there'll be a stormwater basin or just plantings is yet to be determined. But the purpose is to mitigate future losses and future our emergency responders and get Rick and his wife Elizabeth in a higher ground and a drier home. And we said no streams were allowed within hundreds of feet of Rick's new house. Sounds great. We'll be there, Rick. Thanks. So good news. We've been waiting this for a long time. This process began at Hurricane Ida, which is now, I don't even know anymore, Rick. It seems like a decade, but it's been years. Federal process, which is very difficult, but I appreciate Rick's patience and his wife Elizabeth, who have done this to get to know and to work with, and Raka joining us for some meetings, go over some of the final paperwork and her support. Finally, at the point where we can start popping bottles of champagne rather than worrying about the next storm. So good news.
Great. We've been talking about it for years, so this is exciting. All right, so there's a motion on our agenda. It's a motion for approval of the acquisition of the flooded home, agreement of sale 473 Sharon Drive. Is there such a motion?
So moved. Or
Motion by
second.
Commissioner Lestrako, second by Commissioner Partha. Any questions or comments? And Rick, happy to be here tonight and to have gotten to this point, and also to the staff for doing, Aaron in particular, for doing such an absolutely wonderful job over all these years to stay on top of it and get us to this point. So thank you for that, Aaron. All right, with that, I will call a question. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that is approved. Thanks, Rick. All right, solicitor's report. All right, that's good to hear from our solicitor. Any citizens' comments? No citizens' comments? Then, quick meeting tonight. Everyone is invited to our next one, probably a longer agenda, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Andrus,
Second.
second by Commissioner Lestrako. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call a question. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thanks for coming out, folks.